Hi there everybody, it's UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator Halsey here from slimandstylish.stampinup.net, and today I'm going to be playing with the Charming Duck Pond bundle. So this is for the Stamp Around UK video hop, and the theme is no flowers. Well, I'm a floral girl, right? I like flowers. So as soon as I saw this theme, I was like, I'm going to play along and I'm going to bring out the ducks. Now I'm using the dies and I've picked out this beautiful frame, and I'm hoping nobody thinks that it's flowers, because as I was doing it I was like, oh, it's got wreaths on, but the wreaths are in the background, they're on the frame, and they're not really flowers and they don't really focus much. So I'm saying it's okay for the theme. So I've got this gorgeous frame. It's got the wreaths on, it's got some lily pads on it, and it's just really beautiful, and I wanted to play with it today. So I've popped it onto my card front, which is 10.5 centimeters by 14.8, and I've lined it up so it's going to sit nicely towards the top and in the center. And how gorgeous is that? Not only does it die cut, it embosses. And I've got another piece of basic white cardstock that's the exact same size, 10.5 by 14.8, to put behind it. Now you'll see I'm just drawing a little bit of a pencil mark around where that frame is, because I want to colour and do some work on this background piece of basic white. So I'm taking my blending brushes and I'm going to pick two colours to play with here predominantly. So I'm going to be playing with Old Olive, and I'm going to do that around where the lily pad is. Now you see I've put that big ugly blob on. That's not going to be seen, and that's why I've put my pencil marks on, so I can work out exactly where my colour is. So I'm going to be popping this green towards the bottom, and then towards the top I'm going to come in with boho blue, and I am going to pop that all the way towards the top of the card. And I don't think it was boho blue. No, it was boho blue. I'm checking my desk right now to see what was on there. And it definitely is boho blue. So yes, I'm using that, and you can see that I had a mark on my brush, so it's just created a little bit of gunk at the top of the card. That's not going to be a problem. I'm going to continue going and building it up rather than redo it, and I'm going to just cover that at the end, and you'll see what I mean, because sometimes I think there's never a mistake on a card, there's just a reason for an embellishment, and I'm just going to embellish over that bit so it's not a problem. Now you can make this as bright as you like by keep adding the colour on it, or you can keep it a light subtle colour, which is what I'm doing, and I'm quite happy with that. And then because I want this to appear like water and I want it to look like it's on a pond, I've brought my water spritzer in and I'm spraying my paper. And then you can get a tissue if you want and dab it off, or you can wait for it to dry. But you'll see it just gives that sort of water blob effect. And you can come in and you can do as many of it or as little of it as you like. Now I loved the effect, but I just wanted to make it stand out just a little bit more. So I grabbed my white ink pad, and I grabbed my aqua marker, and I rubbed my aqua marker in the ink pad, and I used my glass mat just to create sort of a palette there. And once I got that nice and runny and nice and white, you can see I'm just splatting that colour on. I'm using the bottom for my water supply and the ink pad to get the colour. And then I can also go in directly and apply little dots just directly onto the card using the tip. And it's just bringing a few of those watermarks out. So I'm not doing it a lot, but I am doing little bits, and then I can just wipe that back off my glass mat and it's done. Just to add to the water effect, I've decided to use my Swirl 3D embossing folder, which I love. So I'm running that through right now. And this is going to create like a wave effect on the card, which is going to look really good, I think, with the theme of it. And doesn't that look a mess? If you'd have said you were using that on the card, you wouldn't believe it. But when you put the frame over the top, it covers all the messy bits. So that's all nice. And now I'm going to play with Mr. and Mrs. Duck here. I'm going to get those out. I'm going to pop them onto some blocks, and I'm going to stamp them with Memento because I'm going to be using my blends. Now this stamp set, you can use your ink pads to colour it in. There is infill stamps. and you can see videos for that on my channel. But today I wanted to blend them because I just wanted to get a really good effect, and plus the fact I really like blending, it makes me happy. So I'm going to use a mixture of colours. I'm going to start off with the ivory blend, and I'm going to cover the entire body of both ducks with the ivory blend, just so there's some colour going onto them now. And then I'm going to come in with the bronze. I very rarely use the ivory and bronze, but I'm doing that today, and I'm going to use the tail feathers. And I'm also going to do all of the dots on the birds to make it stand out. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing. All of the little shaded bits that Stampin' Up! Have given us and said these are a bit darker, I've done that with the bronze. Okay, and then I'm going to come in with my, this is Lost Lagoon light, and I'm just going to do the neck and half of the head. There is a ring there, which later on I'm going to come and do dark Lost Lagoon over the top, but that will be later. I'm using the dark crumb cake now on his bottom, and then I'm going over the entirety with light crumb cake. So I'm blending all those colours in so the colour tones look alike, and just adding a bit of dark crumb cake to his head. And that's pretty much him done. For her, I'm going in with dark crumb cake to give some shading, and then light crumb cake over the whole top so that she's more of a brownie colour, because we all know the men like to be a bit flashier in the duck world. And then for the beaks, I'm using light pumpkin pie, and then for the, I was going to say paws, but I mean like the feet. I'm using dark Cajun craze, and you can see I also added the dark Lost Lagoon in on his collar as well. So once they're all coloured, you do get the coordinating dies in this bundle. I'm just going to die cut those out, and then I'll be able to sit those on top of the frame and work out how I want them to look on the card. I think this bundle is super cute. I've thoroughly enjoyed using it, and it's one of my favourite from the annual catalogue, and I haven't played with it for a bit, so I was dead glad that for this project I was able to get it back out. Don't forget to do head over to all of the other people's projects. You can see them in my subject bar below. If you go down, there'll be links so that you can hop along and see everybody else's videos as well. So now that I've done that, I was going to stick this directly on the back, but then I looked at the dies, and we've got dies for this sort of grassy bit, and we've also got dies for some reeds, and I thought, you know what, I can add some more colour rather than it just being white. And when I say add some more colour, I've gone with really subtle colours. So for the green leaves, I went for soft seafoam, really nice and light, and for the reeds I have gone with crumb cake, again quite soft, quite light, but I just wanted to elevate the card a little bit. So I'm going to run those through my cut and emboss machine, get those cut out. The reeds die actually cuts 2 in one cut, so I've got one for each side of the card to add behind that frame. And my advice for you when you're doing this, if you're going to be adding it behind the frame to create texture or depth, is to have your dimensionals on hand. So I like to balance where I want to put the stuff and then use a dimensional to hold it in place. So you can see here I'm just fiddling with my hands where I want it. I'm grabbing a dimensional, I'm just going to stick that behind, and I'm sticking a few down. I know it was slightly off camera, I do apologise, but that's what I'm doing. I really have not got used to the position of my desk yet, so it's a lot further away from me where the camera is now, and I still bring my crafting in next to me, so it just misses. But you can see here what I've done with the dimensionals to hold it in place. And then I'm using some of our 3D foam. I got it cut down into strips, so I'm just adding some of that onto the back of the card, and then I'm going to be sticking a whole heap of dimensionals across here because I don't want it going flat in the post. And I know where I want to send this, it's going to be going in the post, so I need it to stay sticking up and being 3D. Once you've done that, you can stick it down onto your backing piece of card and stick it in the right place so you get your gorgeous waves behind it. And then once I've done that, I noticed that on the one side of the card there is a tiny little bit of a show from the bottom, so I am going to cut that off. You'll see me do it in a minute, but I'm just sticking my ducks flat using the seal and sticking those on, and you can see it's just that edge that you can see the back messy piece of paper So I've just gone up with my scissors and I've just chopped that off on the right hand side so that it sits nicely. And then you can grab your backing piece of card. So this is a thick piece of card that I've cut in half and I've scored in half to make myself a card base. And I'm going to stick this down using the seal and pop it onto the card. And then I had thought that was pretty much the card done, but then realised I hadn't done a sentiment at all. So I went back into it, and I really like this Hello Friend sentiment. So I'm just going to grab some scrap basic white from where I cut my ducks out earlier. I'm going to stamp that down. And then I'm going to cut it out. Again, I'm really sorry that some of this is off screen, but hopefully you get what I'm trying to do. And trust me, in future videos, I will get it right. I keep saying that. I will. And finally, just add some embellishments on of your choice. I love these iridescent ones. I think they look gorgeous, but you can pick whatever you like for your card. And there you are, my finished duck pond card. Hopefully you can see that and that you like it. If you do want to see it a bit closer, do head over to my Instagram at Slim and Stylish, where you can see it there. Here is a close-up of the card. You can buy everything I've used today from slimandstylish.stampingup.net, and don't forget to go out and check what my friends in the hop have done as well. You just go down to the description bar below, click down there and click to go to another video. Thanks everybody for joining me. I will see you all again soon. Bye.